Hello everybody. In this video I'm going to be talking about lease lines, what is a lease line, a sort of general overview of lease lines. So let's begin. Now, my name is Luke Simmons. I am the founder and managing director of Bullscoin Telecommunications Limited. We provide lease lines obviously, but we also do other connectivity like broadband. We provide voice, like VoIP, hosted VoIP, and SIP trunking, traditional, and some other services as well, managed security. So let's begin. So why do you need a lease line? Now, the main type of business that would need a lease line is one that uses a lot of data, or one that relies on the internet. Now, a data-hungry business would be one like, for example, a serviced office company. They would want to provided internet access. They'd almost certainly want a lease line, so providing internet to a lot of people, and it's got to be there all the time because there are other businesses relying on them. Another one would be a company that has a lot of VoIP devices that are used concurrently, and colocation provider, for example. So the reason that these businesses would use a lease line over broadband is because lease lines are dedicated. Lease lines, they're yours alone, so when you get one, nobody else is competing with you for traffic, it's all yours. They come with SLAs, so when if something goes wrong, and it's quite rare, very rare with a lease line, but if there's any downtime, any sort of total outage, most have like 5-hour SLAs, so if you get it will get fixed within 5 hours, or you'll get compensated for it for the downtime. They have symmetrical speeds, so this means that the bandwidth the download speed is the same as the upload speed, essentially. So if you've got a 10 megabit lease line, then you'll get 10 megabits download and 10 megabits upload speed. Very high bandwidth is available, so you can go up to 10 gigs, for example. And it's very easy to upgrade your bandwidth with a lease line, because all you have to do is ask to be upgraded to a new bearer. So, say you're on a 50 megabit lease line, then all you've got to do is ask for a higher bandwidth, like you go up to 100, for example, and nobody would have to come in and reinstall a lease line or anything. It's really simple. So the pricing. So this is partly dependent on location, but expect to pay at least 250, 280 quid for a 100 megabit leased line, fibre. Pay more to get more bandwidth, or less to get a bit less bandwidth. And the cost will increase for resilient options. So I'll explain that later, but that's basically 2 lease lines. But the price usually doesn't always double. But well, actually, sometimes it does. Well, it depends. It's depending on area and carrier. But I'll explain all that a bit later. So different types of lease lines. There's internet access. Now this is the very common kind. Just like broadband, you get connected to the internet. Only this time, with the lease line, it's dedicated and very fast. Resilient access. So this is, like I said a bit earlier, this is like 2 lease lines. So if one circuit goes down, the other one kicks in just about immediately, 10 seconds, and then you carry on as if nothing happened. Point to point, this is connecting 2 locations via a leased line. So you can share data between the locations easily and very quickly. And MLPS is similar to that, but you can connect multiple locations around the country, and it's very fast and very secure. So different technologies. There's fibre. Now fibre is very fast and very reliable, but it is the most expensive. You've got wireless. Now wireless is not available everywhere in the UK in terms of lease line, but it's quicker to install with lower installation fees. But bear in mind, installation fees can be waived with a certain contract length. And wireless is capped to 100 megabits. Now, generic Ethernet access GEA. This is quite old compared to the other technologies. So this is essentially a dedicated bonded copper pair. So you get, basically all that means is you get 30 megabits, but it's a lot cheaper. And Ethernet over FTTC is the last one. That is essentially a fibre to the cabinet connection that's dedicated in yours, an SLA. A symmetrical speed of 20 megabits with a burstable download speed of 80 megabits. So it's very similar to FTTC for broadband, but far more reliable and with an SLA. Now installation. How does installation go? Well, for a fibre line, it could take 6 months. It could take 3 months. Will depend on the amount of lines you need installed, and it will also depend on whether you need to get permission from the landlord a little bit. That won't make much difference to time, but council planning permissions, all that kind of stuff, it's a bit road closures, because essentially when you're getting a fibre lease line, you're getting a new line from the lines that are already there, and you're getting that installed to your building, and depending on what's there already, that will affect the time frame of the installation. There's a form you've got to fill out. It's just about is it easy to access the building? You know, where is it? Have you got permission from the landlord? All that kind of stuff. Just simple. But you have to do it, and yeah, just make sure to plan ahead, because this stuff can take a while. Worth it in the end, but it can take a while. So make sure that your business is prepared. So post-installation. Now, there's different. There's two different sort of types. We're talking about wires only versus managed. So wires only is basically where you get the a bit like you have a master socket in your building if you've got broadband in your home. Now a lot of internet service providers, they provide the router, and you plug it in and it all works, pre-configured, and that's it. But some providers will only go up to that socket. That's basically what wires only is. It's basically you've got your service, but then past that bit, it's all your own jurisdiction, and we're not having any of it. That's what wires only means. Managed means a slightly different thing depending on who you ask and what they do. But essentially, with us, for example, we'll send you a router, and you plug it in. And I have a little example installation guide. You plug it in, and then it's all set up, pre-configured to work, and we'll monitor it for you, and we can see if anything's going wrong. So this is the last three. Oh, and but if you've got your computers, you know, you've got to connect them up to the router or to the switch. so you have to get that stuff yourself, or we can actually, in our case, we can actually procure some of this stuff for you. But you will have to do that bit on your own, or get your team, or get another company to do it for you. But it is quite simple. It's mostly just plugging stuff in and making sure that you don't trip over the wires on the floor. It's not too confusing, especially if you're doing the managed stuff. So if we're taking care of the routers and stuff, then it's a lot easier. So here's an example installation guide. I'm pretty sure Include talked about carriers, but I'll go over that just in case I haven't a bit later. So here's a router example, color-coded all the bits on the back, all the ports. So you get a picture of the stuff that we give you, and then you get a step 1, step 2, etc. A guide. You basically plug stuff in, and that's it. Now, carriers. There's different types of carriers. I don't know, different types. Well, they kind of are different types, but there are multiple carriers. We work with 7 in total. Now, a lot of if you go to sort of like Virgin or BT or TalkTalk, they'll usually provide you with their own. It'll just be them. Now, what you lose here is essentially when you work with multiple carriers, you can mix and match depending on which carriers there are available to you in your area, in your building, and you can get resilience that's very high because carriers have different networks, and we have a network. Everything's sort of networked, and there's a sort of common misconception that all OpenReach companies are the same. Every provider that uses OpenReach is the same, but it's not true. OpenReach is just the last mile. That's all they do. There's stuff on the internet. That's all, and even in the cabinets as well to a degree. It's all. That's where the difference is. They're just doing the wiring. That happens to be the same. So it doesn't really. It doesn't affect things quite as much as you may believe. Now, the highest resilience achieved. So we can get like BT wholesale, for example, and mix it with Virgin. So you have a very resilient network. If Virgin goes down, then BT kicks in, however you set it up to do. So it's a good benefit for working with us. So that is just about everything you need to know to do with leased lines. Hopefully that was helpful. You can find out all about leased lines on our website. All the information I went over is available on there. So visit www.bullscoring.co.uk/leased-line. You can call us directly on 0330 043 2568, or you can get in touch and email our sales team at sales@bullscoring.co.uk. But that's everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed, hope you found it useful. If you did, please let me know. If you didn't, also let me know, and maybe I can make another one that's even better than this one. So, once again, thank you for watching, and have a very good day. Goodbye.